Hi, my name is Ron Byers, and my new book is called Preaching and Praying as Though God Matters in the Post-Establishment Church. The early Christians eagerly awaited what we are accustomed to calling Jesus' second coming. With most of the known world at the time under the domination of the Roman Empire, many of those peoples who had been colonized longed for that second coming to happen soon. But, of course, God's time is not altered by human impatience. As those first-generation believers began to die, some of the survivors became alarmed, requiring reassurance that God had not reneged on the promise made in the resurrection of the Lord, a promise that the reign of God will be realized in a new creation, what Jesus called a renewal of all things, and the Apostle Peter called a universal restoration. But over the generations, the church's hope began to shift. It was no longer focused so much on a cosmic redemption, but rather on a goal nearer at hand, at least for most of us, and that goal was going to heaven. So a central issue in the Reformation conflicts between Protestants and Catholics had to do with how one might get to heaven, who would be in, who are likely to be out. Now, in recent times, we began to look again at the Christian hope on a different scale, discovering that the Christian hope isn't so much about who goes to heaven or speculating about who may not. It returns rather to that expectation of a cosmic redemption, a renewal of all things, a universal restoration. While that very cosmic redemption has long been minimized in Christian teaching and preaching, particularly in the western part of the church, it's been preserved in Eastern Orthodox Eucharistic liturgies. As the shape and content of those Eucharistic liturgies have become models for both Protestants and Catholics in the 21st century, it's possible that they might lead us to a renewal of truly biblical preaching. That's what I'm writing about in my new book, and I hope it might be useful both to those who preach and those who lead worship, as well as helpful to those who teach preaching and liturgy.